Hey, everybody, and welcome to day Thursday of this week's live training. So the very first thing I want to do is kick off by sharing some of the wins that you guys are experiencing. And if you haven't told me about your wins yet, now is the time. Either in this chat box live, or if you're watching the replay of this, pop it in an email and hit it back to me. Because this is the stuff. And here's why this is important. Because the more that you hear what's possible, the easier it is for your brain to connect the pieces that you can do it too. Now, here's how my brain works with this. My mentor, Brooke Castillo, it took her like 10 years to make $300,000. And then it took her 4 years after that to make 10 million. Now, when I hear that, my mind is a little bit broken and I'm like, I don't know about that. That seems too big. But then I look at it in the perspective of other people who she works with. So one of the people made $1 million in 3 years. Her first year was like 50,000. Her second year was like 300,000. And she just accidentally made $1 million the third year. Accidentally. Other people have done it in 5 years. So their numbers look more like 30, 50,000, 250,000, 700,000, 1 million. And so every time I hear these things, my brain and I are like, that's possible. And so even going through this training, sharing possibility helps your brain know what's possible. So I'm going to share with you, pop yours in the comments. Tell me what has shifted in you. I have gotten responses from 2 people. One of them I shared with you last time. Today I want to share with you another one. So you guys remember Libby? I coached her on Monday. We did the first call with her. She reached out to me. She keeps updating me. So the first time, basically, here's the summary. In the first couple of days of doing this training, you guys, she sent out an email and she said, for the first time, I believed that I was a coach. And instead of approaching the email from a place of like wondering if they wanted or being uncertain, she was thinking things like, I have something they want. Like, this is valuable. And she's had 9 people book consults with her. 9. Right? Like, wait a minute. Can we just do anything when we shift our minds? I was talking to my own coach today and I was like telling her how excited I am about Facebook ads. And she's like, just to be clear though, you remember how you made money, right? I was like, oh yeah. Because last year I played this game with myself where I doubled my money like 4 months in a row, like how much money I created. And so month 1, it was 1,500. Month 2, it was 3,000. Month 3, it was 9,000. Month 4, it was 18,000. And it was just a game. It was just to see what was possible. And I didn't use Facebook ads. I really didn't do anything different, but I shifted how I thought. I shifted what I was focused on. I shifted what I believed was possible. And that is what I teach with this work. It's that it doesn't take time. It doesn't take excellent copywriting skills. It doesn't take Facebook ads. It doesn't take doing all of the things. What it takes is you learning to believe in what you're offering. Because for Libby, it was that simple thing of like, oh my gosh, people want this. Like, I have something really valuable to share. And it seems like a simple thing, but that's what was missing for me. I had to learn how to believe that I was unique and valuable. I had to learn how to believe in my tools. I had to learn how to believe that people wanted it. And I had to learn how to believe that it was my thoughts. Oh, that's my favorite one because I'm still believing it. But every time I get a deeper realization of it, it just changes everything. So I'm going to go through and read yours. You guys, if you want to keep doing this work, I'm sending out an email today. I'm starting a group, 6-month group, and we're going to do this work together. We're going to keep doing this work together. The mental side of growing your business, creating that first and next $50,000, creating the foundation of mindset that it takes for you to be the person who easily builds her 100,000, her multiple 6-figure, and eventually that $1 million business. So I'm going to send out details about that. Let's go through and read what you guys are shifting with. So Laura says, I'm starting to shift from judgment about my $0 created into curiosity, like a game. Today I took action and posted a vulnerable post on my page with a call to action, something I haven't done in a long time because I haven't taken action in a long time. Nice job. And that's why we have to have that part in there in the daily work about go take some action. Because remember, guys, there's two types of people. There's you guys who are like out there hitting it, killing it with action. And then there's the other group of people who are like, I haven't taken action in a long time. That sounds terrible. Let's not do it. And that means that you are, right? Like Laura, you're the one that has to force yourself to go out there and do it. And I get it. That's actually, I used to be in that one category and then I switched to the other. And now I'm constantly like checking myself, like, am I taking action or am I just making this a head game? So great job. Francesca says, my wins. I've started seeing how my mind has been creating my results, good and bad. Oof, that's a good one. I love to step on the scale just so I can get the data, right? Because your mind is going to have a default thought. I love to intentionally think the thought, I created that number. Because when I think that thought, suddenly my brain is like, oh my gosh, we did create that. And the minute you have that sense of empowerment that I created it, not time, not people, right? Not the consults that just didn't book, not the people who just don't like my stuff. It's not other people, but when you get to embrace that it's you, it's like, wait a minute, if it's me, I can change me. I can tweak that. Salona, thank you. Let's see, Francesca, I'm feeling excitement of possibility. I know, possibility. I have more clients create consults almost instantly from the feeling of possibility than any other feeling. It's quite amazing, actually. That feeling in and of itself, if you don't know how to feel that one, it's worth money to practice feeling. Someone says, I thought I was believing all those things, but I'm realizing I guess I need to believe a lot harder and more consistently. You guys, there isn't a strength of belief. Here's how belief works. Some people think, well, I don't have to draw a picture of this. Some people believe that belief is like a light switch, right? I either have it or I don't. Like, no, I believe, but it's really a gradient, right? And the gradient happens in 5 different areas. So your belief is just somewhere on this gradient, like a gas gauge. And the 4 different areas of belief, one of them is belief in yourself and your transformation. So Salona, how is your belief in you and your transformation? Where's your belief at in that area? In your identity as an entrepreneur, right? Where is your belief in that? Where is your belief in your tools and in coaching, right? A love of coaching. Like you love to spend money on it because you know it's life-changing. Because when you believe that, of course, anybody who comes to you and says like, oh, I don't know if it's worth it, you're going to be like confused. And it's the belief in your tools. I had to intentionally learn how to believe because I was afraid. I was afraid that people would bring me something and I wouldn't be able to coach them on it. And so I had to build belief. The 3rd area of belief is belief that people want what you're offering. If we let our brain, it's going to gather all the evidence of people who are on welfare and they can't pay their bills. And like what you charge for coaching is actually the entire what they live on in a month, or they don't even make that much. Our brain will find all the stuff. We have to believe that there's money everywhere and that people want this and that they love investing in themselves. And then the 4th area of belief, Salona, notice, right? This isn't just like I believe or I don't believe. The 4th area of belief is that it's your thoughts. I specifically teach like the meta thinking of circumstances are neutral. You guys, you're going to hear me say things like, that's not a thing. Time, money, not things. They're just not things. Now, they kind of are things, right? But like drama about money, totally optional. You could just choose to be neutral. Now, most people take like, a week or 2 to figure that out if they do the work on it. But you have to have work around believing that your circumstances are neutral, finding proof of it, believing that it's always your thoughts. One of my favorite questions, and I am actually going to coach you guys. I'm like, what time is it? Why am I talking again? One of my favorite questions to ask myself is, what am I believing is a problem? Because your brain thinks that problems exist, But when you look at it that and you write down the list, what is my brain believing is a problem? Write the list down and then look at the list and say, what if these were all thought problems? They aren't real things I have to solve, like a niche. How many guys, don't even tell me, don't even. How often do I see where people are like, I just don't know my niche. And I don't know who I'm speaking to, and I don't know how to communicate it. And therefore, I don't show up. Or that's why I'm not signing clients. But if your niche was just a thought problem, how differently would you approach that? So those are the 4 areas of belief. Let's see. Jamie says, is it okay that I didn't get a chance to watch the replay? Totally okay. Don't even watch it. Don't do it. Don't overwhelm yourself with content, you guys. Don't do it. We don't need another thing that we're like, I got to catch up on these 12 hours of videos. No, do the daily work. Be here. Just jump right in. Oh, let's see. Sloana says, when I don't get results, I tend to wobble in my beliefs. Yeah, because you're looking to your belief, like you're looking to your results to decide what you're going to think. You're like, what are my results? Oh, once I know, then I'll decide how I'm going to think. And then I'll decide how I'm going to feel. And then I'll go take some action. And if you work from this model and you're dependent on your results, you are going to constantly be, and this is kind of like with husbands or boyfriends, like if we're like, ooh, like, did he do what I thought he was going to do? Because if he did, then I'm going to think this thing. But we don't get to show up to our business like that, right? Like, because if you do, you're just constantly living for the result. You have to show up for the fun of it. Ooh. It has to be just for the fun of it. Like coaching every day this week for me, it's just because it's fun. I have zero idea. I don't know, right? And I'm still not a fortune teller. I still have not mastered that. I don't know what that's going to create, but I'm doing it just for the fun of it. Every post I create is just for the fun of it. Yesterday I posted one and it was because I'm funny. It turns out my husband actually doesn't think I'm funny, so he likes to clarify that, but I'm like I was putting my makeup on and I'm like, makeup ready. Like, how do you know your makeup is like video ready? Like, because when you're putting it on, you can't see it yet. So you're like, oh, I need more. But nobody got it. And it's like, that's okay. Like, they're like, oh, you look so pretty. And I'm like, that's not the point. I'm funny. You're missing the point. But I guess I'm just funny to me. It's okay. But it's not about, what was I even talking about? Oh, it's not about the results. You have to be willing to do it and then to keep tweaking until you find what it takes to create the results. Just gonna read through these really quick. Jamie, yeah, don't definitely be here. Okay, let's coach. Because otherwise, clearly, I'll talk the whole time. So fun for me. Okay, Francesca. See if it pulls you up. There you are. Let's see if it makes you panelist. No, I can't see you. There you are. Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm getting a little sleepy though, but I'll make it. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm really excited to be here.
Good. What can we coach your mind on? Are you doing the daily work?
I've been doing the daily work, yeah. And I feel like I keep talking myself out of action.
Ooh.
And
wait, hold on. You mean you're having some thoughts? Yeah. And I'm going to make sure I rephrase this because I think one of the most powerful things we do as coaches is we rephrase things back so your brain can hear what your brain is saying. So you want to take some actions, but then your brain has some thoughts and you have your child brain and your adult brain, and the child brain's like, don't do it. And your adult brain's like, good idea. And then you don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we're on the same page.
Yeah. I think that I've been thinking that it's more responsible for me to go to my day job where I know that money can come in, and so I'm not showing up as much as a coach because it doesn't feel as secure. But I have worked on mindset in the past and I've created crazy results from that. And so I know that once I get to that point of like 100% confidence and belief in this, like it's game over. So we're just working on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things in there. The one I want to make sure I mention though is that I do not have a certainty in my business,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I don't have a certainty in coaching or my business or any of it. Here's what I have certainty in: myself. And so you don't have to wait for the certainty to come. You get to just decide. So for me, like last year in my business, I made $120,000, but the entire year I was like, I don't know about this yet. Like I was still afraid. And so we just like, we didn't make any like plans based on that, right? Like nothing, we weren't doing anything big. This year it's like, wait a minute, this is amazing. And like, I think this is going to keep working. And like, this just keeps working. Even now though, right? Like I create certainty for myself by like, we have a savings chunk for our personal. I have a savings chunk for my business. I have very systematic ways that I use money and that I don't use money. I have a backup plan, you guys. If all of this stops working someday, I'm going to get a job. What? I mean, or I'm just going to start another business. So it's like, there's no point in my brain where I'm like, oh, man, it's got to be this. It's like, I just have this certainty that no matter what, I'm going to figure it out again, because that's for sure going to happen, even if I have a job. And that like, there's nothing that can happen that would like derail me from it. Like I've already done it once. There's just no way I can't keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me how that, like what comes up for you when I say that? Where is the work that you need to do in there?
Yeah. Well, so for the last 6 years, I dealt with chronic illness. And for me, it has been building the belief that I can even make enough to pay the bills. And so it's been this last year, like growing a lot of confidence in that. But you know, it's been a challenge at times. Because like I am like so close to hitting that number and getting to the point of building emergency savings and all of that. But yeah, I think, you know, those 6 years where I was really sick, it really kind of knocked my confidence, even though it had nothing to do with my ability. Yeah.
So notice what your brain is doing. Your brain is just focusing to the past of what happened then instead of to the future and what's possible.
Yeah.
So of course it's going to be harder for you to show up in your business and believe that it's worth doing, because your brain is actively looking over here at like, oh, it was really hard and scary. But tell me what's possible for you, Francesca.
I mean, it's possible for me to make full-time being a life coach.
Yeah. How much money would you make at full time?
I mean, I really believe that I can get to whatever number I imagine, as long as I build the belief there.
Pick the number and tell me when.
Okay. $100,000.
Okay. So you believe you can have $100,000 coaching business in how long?
In a year.
Okay. So by the end of next year, we'll give you a couple extra months. You believe you can have $100,000 coaching business.
Yeah.
Okay. Now tell me, how many times have you thought that thought? From a place of possibility. Like it's possible that I could have $100,000 business in the next 16 months.
I think I've thought it more from a place of, I want to get there. I know I can get there. And then beating myself up when I'm not taking the action. So it hasn't really been from a place of possibility.
And what's the difference in how I want to get there? How does that feel versus like it's possible? Tell me the difference in feeling in your body.
Yeah, I want to it just feels kind of icky. It feels like this lack.
Okay.
Um, and kind of like, I'm not confident I'm going to get there. I just kind of shaky, honestly.
Yeah.
Possibility feels exciting and makes me want to run towards it.
Mm.
Um, and I think the other way, it makes me kind of want to hide or run away from it. It feels scary.
This is the difference between thoughts that literally stop us, and sometimes they're the tweak of a word. And this is why, you guys, you want to check in with things and how they feel. Right? When we make statements, they either do this, right? Picture a closed flower in case you're not getting that visual. I'm a closed flower versus this.
Mhm.
And that's the difference between I want to and it feels closed and tight and like it's possible. And it feels open and expansive and kind of like bubbles floating through the air. And one of them you are going to take action from, and the other one is going to just keep you stuck.
Mhm.
So, what's the action you want to be taking?
Just get out there, like create content, or I I did a podcast interview and I loved it.
Yeah.
I just had so much fun. So I think I'd really like to reach out to people's audiences and or
Okay.
to coaches and see how I could serve their audiences.
Okay. And what do you have to remember to believe? It's not going to be your default. Your default keeps you stuck. Whatever thought that is, you be very aware of what that is. What do you have to remember to believe, though? To go and like create content and speak to your people and create opportunities for you to get in front of other people. You have to remember to believe.
Well, I mean that first of all, that's possible to have 100K business by the end of next year. But
Be
also
careful with
that,
that one, though, right? Like
yeah.
when I think the thought, like, right, like I'm learning to become the woman who has $1 million business.
Mhm.
Notice how I phrase that. I'm learning how to become her. You are learning how to become the woman who has $100,000 business. But the way that we make our brain not quite freak out is one client at a time,
Mhm.
right? Not 1,000 at a time, one client. Because then our brain is suddenly like, wait a minute, I have to do this one client at a time. Well, then I better start focusing because 100,000 is not going to get me, right? Like becoming her is one thing, but like, oh, I'm just learning how to do this one client at a time.
Yeah.
So you have to remember to believe that it's possible. What else?
Mhm. That people want what I have to offer.
Mm. Because when you're
And
thinking that they want what you have to offer, how does that change how you show up?
well, again, I feel like it's like excitement. And I remember, it was what got me out of bed most days was knowing that there was someone out there that would need what I had. And it's interesting, it's been really hard for me to cultivate that feeling more now when I feel like I'm on the other side of it. But I remember just like having times in my life where I was just praying for the answers, praying someone would come along. And um, yeah, like my people need me. It's too
Yes.
risky for me not to grow right now.
Yeah. That's a really interesting thing to not just think a thought of, but really visualize. There is somebody who is actively praying for a solution. They have no idea it's coaching, right? Like nobody wakes up in this normal world and are like, I think it's coaching. One of my clients was like, yeah, I went to the doctor because I was depressed and I was gaining weight, and it was like I was in London, it was dark and rainy, and she's like, I thought they were going to just give me a pill because I thought the problem was I needed to lose weight. She's like, it never occurred to me it was coaching. It's like, no, our brains never say I think it's coaching.
Mhm.
And that's a fun thing for you to visualize, like somebody is who you were and they're sitting there, they're laying there in bed, and they really like, they wish there was a solution, and they have the money and they want to pay for it and they want to make it a priority. because this is their life, right? The amount of time you spend in this space, and it's not that we're not being realistic. It's not that we're not thinking of other things. We're just reminding our brain of what it needs to remember to believe. And that energy of those beliefs, that's what you have to bottle up and practice creating to go take any action you want to take. Okay, so that's the question you have to ask yourself. What am I forgetting to believe? Okay, okay, go do that. Let us know how it goes. You're welcome. See, I don't remember how to move this. Oh, it's because I look different now. Change role. Okay. Let's see. So if you guys want coached, raise your hand. I'm checking up to Salona. Promote to panelists. So yes. Hello there. It's like, surprise, I'm here. Oh, you're muted. I can't hear you. Nope, still muted. Can't hear you. Oh, unmute audio.
Here I am.
Here you are. Hi.
Wonderful. I'm not sure if my background is video ready, but it doesn't matter. It's worth the coaching.
That's right. It's like, no, my hand is in the air. I'm ready. I love it. So what can I coach your mind on?
Well, let's see. I mean, we've had a little back and forth, so you kind of get a feel. I think, I mean, definitely, I'm trying to like condense it. There's a lot of, I think based on my track record, there's a lot of heaviness in my system around like just moving forward. I find that I'm kind of forcing myself to take the actions versus really feeling compelled and inspired and having fun with it.
Okay.
Because for all these months, my efforts, like my output just isn't translating into consults and clients and money. So I feel like I'm kind of running on empty and trying to move the car forward. So I guess I'm...
So let me ask you first, why? Why does your brain think it's a good idea for you to keep running on empty and just pushing?
I'm not sure what else to do. I don't know what the alternative is because I have goals. I'm running a business. You know, it's like I see the gap I need to close. Okay. And I feel like it's required for me to show up for my business and be visible, make offers, give value ahead of time, you know, do all the things. Mm-hmm. So I tend to just do what I know to do, even if it feels like I'm just going through the motions to check it off the list. Because it's hard to justify just doing mind work or just getting coaching, you know, or just reviewing the modules or, yeah, it's like, I hear it's like, I've got to be in massive action. So I'm going to be in massive action. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else to do.
Okay. But can we agree that whatever action you're taking isn't working? It's not creating the result you want.
Correct.
Okay. So let's see what your model is here. So we've got your business, and it sounded to me like your thought was something like, I have to do this stuff to grow a business. Like, this is what it takes.
Yeah, there's a have to, should do. Yeah, like, yeah, I have to be in action, daily action in order to get results, make my goals.
Okay. How do you feel when you think that thought, I have to be in daily action to make my goals?
I feel it's like a heaviness, a pressure, a heaviness, and then even a resentment. Like I start to resent my business. I start to, I feel uninspired. So it kind of zaps the inspiration.
Yeah.
Um,
We normally, for everybody watching, don't put lots of feelings in here, but
I know.
we like the sensation, and we're giving you, because ultimately we could have just said, I don't know what these are called, but when I think this thought, I feel heavy, right? Like that could be enough, but let's keep going. So tell me the action you're taking, because this is actually very action-based thought. It's weird. I'm some like weird.
Well, I will, I'll try to force myself to, do, like, create content. I'll try to think, I'll force myself to create content. What do my clients need to hear today? Like your questions, what did I need to hear a year ago? What do I feel like talking about? So I'll kind of force myself to just generate a post or an email.
Okay. Forcing content. What else?
Forcing content and then posting it or emailing it. Okay. I will sometimes, a couple times a week, check in with networking events to try to just keep putting networking events on my calendar.
Because you're going to networking events?
And going. Yeah. I have one tonight. But it's like checking in with local networking events to show up for.
And like, what are your thoughts when you're going into these networking events? Is it the same thing? Like, I have to do this?
Yes, I try to challenge it. Like, I try to elevate my frequency to wow, maybe I'll meet a new friend, or maybe I'll meet a potential client, or this could be fun. So I will do that work, but it doesn't really, I don't get all the way to the other side. I'm just aware my energy is in a low frequency, and I've got to try to generate a higher vibration here.
Okay. So you try to self-coach, but it's not working.
Self-coach, yeah. Okay. What else?
Think about the last time. When was the last time you thought, I have to be doing daily action to hit my goals? When was the last time you thought that?
Like every hour for the last, like since I woke up this morning, it's been on my mind.
Okay.
And the other one that's common is I might check out what other people are doing to get ideas, because I don't have them. So I'm like, what are other people up to sort of gauge, should I do more of that, or what could I do instead? Things like that.
Yep.
So kind of compare and.
Okay. Are you comparing yourself to them? Like, are you experiencing the shame cycle of like they're doing better and all that?
For sure, compare and despair. Sometimes it's compare and despair. Sometimes it's just look to try to get ideas, to try to just generate more, like an idea bank of, challenge, webinar, post, Facebook Live, just to generate more ideas in my repertoire for what I could be spending my time doing, because I feel kind of immobilized.
Okay. So one of the things I heard you say is you obsess at least hourly. Okay.
Yeah, like it's another day in my business. I've got to show up. What is that going to look like today? What is my massive action going to be today?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I kind of feel blank and stuck.
Yeah. So I want to make sure, I want to run you through so you can see this, because the beauty of a model is that it shows us what we're doing. So this thought in and of itself, I have to be in daily action to make my goals. It sounds very believable. Like if we told people this, they'd be like, yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. But it's not that it's not true. Here's where we run into believing this thought causes you to feel resentful, heavy, and uninspired. And so the only reason that this stuff right here, right, like the only reason that you are not creating the results you want is because you're feeling resentful and heavy and uninspired. Because when you think the thought, you're going out and you're creating content. You're going to networking events. You're trying to push yourself, but it's not working. You're looking to other people for ideas, but you're not trusting yourself and that what you know is good enough. You're comparing yourself to others and feeling bad when you're out there doing it. And you're obsessing hourly about your business. And so do you think you can agree that like this is creating you like no clients, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Not even consults. So I haven't even had a chance to have a conversation. So
Yes. And so what we know for sure is that some part of this isn't working. Could you agree with me on that?
yes.
Do you think it's your action? Do you think that creating content is what's not working?
Well, I will say that's the other piece to this equation is you made that comment that given all that the posts I am doing, they may not, either they're not reaching the right people or I'm not saying the right thing to inspire them. So there is that question mark in my mind of like, maybe the content of my content isn't quite cutting it to compel my audience into action.
But where does your content come from?
Resentment, uninspiration, and heaviness, and force.
Yeah. From your own brain that you're letting be messy. Right? So when we look at content, I could talk to 30 different people and ask them, is content the issue? And the thing is that content as an action isn't the problem. Right? Content's not working. Like content works. What's not working is that you're thinking and feeling things that cause you to create content that's not you being inspired. You're just forcing content. So it's not the content. It's not social media. It's not posting. It's simply what you're thinking and feeling when you go into forced content.
Okay, I think I follow you there. When I create a post, I can feel pretty good about it. I'm like, wow, even though I forced it, I'm like, that's pretty decent writing there.
Okay.
And then I'm like, yeah, I'd be excited to read that. So
what we know is that you're a good writer and your brain likes your writing.
Good writer, yeah.
But you're still flavoring it. And here's the thing, right? Like if the social media is the problem, there's no place to fix. If going to networking events is what didn't work, there's just no place to fix it. If, let's see, yeah, no, these things probably like obsessing hourly, like we can try it, but let's, like what we know is that if this stuff, like if we can just cut that out, like this is what's creating no clients. It's thinking and feeling and taking some of these actions, but it's not the action that's the problem. Are you okay with that being the answer? Are you committed to it being social media as the problem?
You're saying, am I still thinking this is...
Because sometimes people want to fight for, no, it's social media is broken. I just don't have enough friends, or I must not be posting the right thing, or going to in-person networking just doesn't work for me. People want to fight for why things should be.
Yeah, I think if I were to fight for anything in there, it might be, I must not be doing enough, or I must not be capturing the message that would resonate most with my ideal client. Like those are the two I might try to fight for.
Okay. So if you wanted to try and capture the message that would actually resonate with them, right? It's still going to involve posting on social media. It's still going to involve your awesome writing skills. What has to change?
Well, what comes up to mind is market research.
Okay.
But I've tried that.
Some more stuff. You've tried that. Nice. I like that.
I mean, people I can't get people on the phone to even just talk to me about, the market research thing.
Yeah.
So I guess if I am the source, if my thoughts and feelings are the problem, what were you going to say? I can agree with you.
Huh. This is like the best news ever, but you seem really committed to wanting it to do something in the A line.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And what we know is that when you think and feel like this, you're just showing up to the world. Like you're forcing content, you're going to networking events, but you're doing it in a forced way. Like, I don't really want to be there. I'm like, I love this idea of like, people always talk about like, I don't know, chocolate covered poop or something, right? Where it's like, that's all you're doing is you're slathering something gross with something that smells nice. And we're like they sense the energy, and they're like, no, that's not right. And you're like, no, I got my energy good. Because it has an undertone of, I have to.
Yeah.
So Salona, your biggest work is going to be stop taking action unless it's from an energy that, man, there's going to be energies that are like scared and nervous and vulnerable. Those ones aren't going to feel particularly delightful. But think about if you only chose to create content from possibility and inspiration and fun and like serving. And like, I was thinking about these people and I just couldn't not share this. How often do you create content from those feelings?
Sometimes, like the service, sometimes that's there. The fun and the inspiration has been challenging for me to access. Like, I guess I think I mentioned that in my email of just, like the fun piece, I don't know where to look for that. The inspiration piece, again, not sure where that is on the horizon right now. The service piece, I can get myself there.
Where do these feelings come from?
My thoughts.
Yeah. So what you just told me is, I haven't practiced creating inspiration and fun thoughts to go take action from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Notice the reason that I reword that for you is because the more you see that that's in your power, it's like, right? Like, I want you to trigger thoughts like, wait a minute, I just have to learn how to create thoughts that feel fun. I could practice that, right?
Yeah, it definitely feels like I'm not even sure how to start doing that. It's a foreign, it's like, how do I get to that channel?
Okay. So what's a feeling? How about possibility? Can you feel that one?
Yeah, when we talk in these calls, like possibility feels fun. I can feel like the uplift. I can feel the upsurge of, like the flower opening. I love that metaphor. Like, ooh, yeah, I can get a little elevation from that.
Okay.
Like you were just working, was it Francesca? Yeah, like it's possible I could have 100K business in the next year. Like that feels, there's a part of it that feels really good.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by just
just the feelings you can access? Because it isn't that anything has gone wrong. It just means you aren't practiced feeling these feelings, which means we just have to practice. So what's your possibility statement for this training? What are you creating in the 7 days?
One client.
Okay. And tell me your exact sentence.
Where did I have that? I am creating, I'm creating, it's possible I could sign one client in the next week.
Okay. And when you think that thought, do you feel it?
It's very fleeting. I can't, no, it doesn't really stick.
Okay. Why?
I think I've just been running a lot of discouragement and despair because of my track record the last few months. So I've kind of like, apparently people don't want what I have. Apparently nothing I'm doing is working. So this feels good to think for like 5 seconds and then it's like evaporates.
Yeah. So this work is really important because you have to practice holding this. And you're going to be like a samurai warrior with your sword, and they're throwing like watermelons at you, and you have to keep like, because you're holding this belief in your body, even when your brain throws things at you. So every single objection your brain brings you, you have to see it and work through it. Okay. So tell me one of the objections your brain has.
Yeah, it's pretty much, I don't know. Well, I need consults in my calendar in order to do that. And I don't know where they are going to come from. I don't know where this client is going to come from,
Yeah.
because I'm offers multiple times a week and it's crickets.
I feel anxious just hearing that.
Yeah.
Right? So of course you're going to feel anxious. Like everybody's like, how can we all be anxious? We can hear her thought with her. Hey, like, I don't know where these consults are going to come from. Basically summarizing it, I don't know where this client's going to come from. I've done everything I know how to do.
Yeah, nothing I'm doing is working. So how am I going to get this goal?
Yes. So the flower is closed. Okay. And here's what I like about this. I mean, I do like doing other models, but I think we're gonna let's look at the part where our brain throws us crap. Okay. So you're believing like nothing. I don't know what I wrote. Song has worked. So your brain is telling you like nothing has worked before. I've done everything.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to explore that this thought isn't true or false. That you have to, so there's two parts here. One, your brain is believing that consults are out of your control. Do you see that? Yeah. How are consults inside of your control? How are you in control of creating them?
Well, I mean, I try to reach for those thoughts, like, you know, like we talk about in the group sometimes, like consults can come in an instant. Clients can show up from anywhere. I try to reach for it.
Wait, these are still that it's outside of you. It's like those people are over there and I'm like waiting for them to come. They could come any minute, right?
Yeah.
It's still like I'm at the effect of it.
Mm-hmm.
How are you in control of creating consults?
Believing that they're coming? I'm not sure.
Okay, that's one method.
Believing that people want what I have.
Okay.
Believing I'm a coach and people want to pay me.
Do you see what you're doing right now? Are you a people pleaser?
You know, maybe a small percentage, but not. I don't know. I don't
think that there's a right answer.
I think there's a right answer. Yeah, I do.
I see that. Because what you're doing is you're uncertainly telling me what you think are the right answers. So let me tell you, I want you to imagine that there's a concert. It's your best friend's concert. They're going to be playing amazing music. They're so good, but people just don't know about them yet. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can help you tell everybody about this because people aren't going to know if we don't tell them. How do you help your friend get people to come to her concert? What do you do?
I spread the word.
How do you do it?
I tell people on social media, or I might text them. This amazing concert's coming up. You'll love it.
Okay. What else? Like, what if she was gonna, like, you know how they have the baby concerts things where, like, if you vote, like, something happens and you get something. Like, what if the number of people that came to her concert was dependent on whether she got a chance to be, like, on some big show, and you were like, oh my, you thought, I can help her do this. What else would you do to try and help her?
I'd probably make postcards and pass them out at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Or Starbucks or the gym.
And what would you be thinking when you were doing that?
Well, I'd probably be thinking of helping my friend versus serving the people I'm giving the postcards to.
Yeah, but why would you, like, it would still benefit them though, because if you believed that her program sucked, how would that change what you did?
I wouldn't feel comfortable approaching people.
Yeah, of course not. Right? So it's like you're believing like nothing has worked so far. I actually don't remember where those two tie in at all. Being out of your control. You're believing, right? Like creating consults is out of my control. But if it came to your friend whose thing you believed in and you truly believed that other people would benefit from it and love it, you and your brain are like, let's go do it. And you probably would have done it having fun too. You wouldn't have been forcing yourself. You wouldn't have been like, oh gosh, got to go out there again today. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you would be creating those people coming. And yes, it would happen from action. But the only reason you would take one action over another is because of what you were thinking about your friend and thinking about what people wanted. And because there was some like drive in there for you to do it in a certain time frame. So when you think about creating consults, how could it be up to you?
Getting in front of more people and holding more belief in my value.
Okay. So what if those were the only two things you had to do? What's your brain say?
The getting in front of more people, some resistance comes up. Like, how is that going to happen? Like, where to go to do that?
But you don't really need to get in front of more people. You have a mailing list, you have social media, you have people, right? You're just learning how to be in front of them and be offering them the thing that they want and that you feel really amazing giving them.
Yeah, so getting more, I probably have to feel more excitement about my coaching, my one-on-one coaching.
Yeah, just feel less terrible, right? Because like nothing has worked when you believe this thought, right? Like, what if this wasn't true, that nothing has worked? Like, what if this was a thought and it wasn't true or false? It's just something that you kept repeating to yourself over and over, and that your brain just kept finding more evidence for.
So what could be true is that everything I'm doing has worked. It's just I'm not seeing the evidence of it yet. Or what are you implying?
It could, but here's the thing with any thought, and it's that they aren't true or false. Every single thought isn't true or false. Somebody loving you, thinking that thought, it's not true or false. It's just your thought. Nothing having worked, it's not true or false. It's just what you've been believing. And when you believe that, like if we tell our brain to go find yellow cars, our brain will tune into yellow cars. You have tuned your brain into nothing is working. And when your brain tunes into that frequency, it keeps finding more evidence for you. Until you just decide, what if it was working? Like, what if I believe that it was working? I don't quite believe it's working, but what if I did? So Simona, I want you to ask yourself that question. I don't quite believe it's working, but what if I did? How would I choose to think differently next? What would I do differently from that possibility?
So even though I don't have evidence of it working, just choose to have faith that on some level in the invisible realm, it's working.
Or you find evidence that it actually is working. Like, what if it's working because you're actually consistent? Like, there are tons of people who are like, oh, I just can't be consistent. They think that the thing that's stopping them from growing a business is that they're not consistent. But you have the opposite problem, right? You're not having the same Francesca problem where she can't go take action. You're type 2, which is, I am so consistent and it still isn't working. And so taking action isn't going to be the thing. The thing for you is to stop taking action and learn to change the energy. So it might be proving that it's working by you just deciding, me showing up and creating content consistently like this, like it's working. People are joining my mailing list and opening my emails. This is working. People want to hear from me. I am inspired with content. It's working. I keep showing up for myself and finding ways that I can grow. This is working. It's simply changing the tilt from trying to problem solve from a place that it's not, right? We all have frames of glasses. And your frame of glasses have been, it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you hold those glasses up and you keep looking through the lens, you have to just decide it's working, and here's why. From a perspective of, like, I learned how to be a better writer. I learned how to articulate things. Because when I think about my journey, like, I spent the first 2 years of my online business making like no money. But here's why I think it was amazing. I did probably like 30 trainings. So I got through the hump that other coaches were like, yeah, I got this thing I'm really good at, but I'm so scared to do a training. I was like, not scared. Already did it. I already knew how to set up my mailing list. I already knew how to create a landing page. I already knew how to connect all the pieces in like less than an hour. So all the other coaches who had all this other stuff first, I was like, oh no, I spent 2 years making no money building skills. I know how to do a live stream. I'm not afraid. I know how to write a post that people want to read. Even though they weren't paying me money, they were engaging with me. I was learning how to be a personality. I was interviewing people. I was like, just anything I could do. I wasn't consistent, which doesn't matter anyways. But my brain back then told me that was what mattered. And it's like, the reason that I can look at all of that and say is because then the minute that I locked in the mindset part and I started believing, and I all in those 4 areas, that was all it took, because I built this skill ahead of time. So it's like, you just decide everything in your past, what you make it mean, and you get to start over right now today and decide, I choose my business today. Whether it creates results for me or not, I choose it today to move forward with. Or don't choose it. Decide you're not doing it until you love it. Because hating your business or wanting it just because it's going to help you create goals, but being terribly uncomfortable in it the whole time, like, that's how you're going to, like, however you grow it is how you're going to keep growing it. What if it started working and you felt this terrible all the time, and that was all you ever had to look forward to? Would you still want to do it?
If it started to work, but I was still feeling the same feelings.
Yeah. Why not?
It feels lousy.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable.
So then stop trying to grow it that way. Decide now, I'm gonna just love it. I'm gonna have all these other default thoughts that tell me it's not working, it hasn't worked before. And those are just like rocks being thrown at you. And you have to stop and look at every single one of them and say, this is a thought. And I'm choosing not to look in the past, but in the future, and say, it's just possible. It's possible for me to build a $100,000 business, a $50,000 business, one client at a time. I'm learning to be the woman who signs one client in 7 days. I'm not her yet. How do I know I'm not her? Because I'm looking around, but I'm learning how to be her. And she doesn't feel heavy and uninspired and resentful for business. She sends out an email and she's just practiced, and people book a call. Because you could become that person next week, Ilona. You could become the woman who, like that, is like, wait a minute, this was my thoughts. And you send out the email, and just like Libby, you have 9 people are like, oh my gosh, no, I've totally been waiting for this from you. Energetically, all you have to do is decide. What are your thoughts about that?
When you say energetically, I just have to decide what?
That's where you're going to choose to keep your energy.
Okay.
Right? Like, there's resentful, and there's heavy, and there's uninspired. And that's just on default where you've been living. And your brain and your body actually want you to stay there because it's very familiar. And it's finding evidence to help you stay there. And this is the part where you break the patterns and you have to intentionally decide, I'm going to choose to feel possibility. Or I'm going to just choose to feel neutral. Right? Like zero money, zero clients is neutral. It's only a reflection of your mind. Because the only difference between the results you create and the results I create are that we have different thoughts and feelings. And when your brain really like that clicks, suddenly your brain's like, wait a minute, then I just have to change thoughts and feelings. It sounds like a fun game.
Yeah. I would say that's what comes up to answer your question. Like, yeah, I could have fun making it a game with my mind. To just spend more time in possibility, that yeah, I mean, I was going to say it feels scary just because there's the fear of disappointment, but it does feel more fun to reach for the possibility and just try to open up that channel.
Yeah. And you've already tried the other way. You can always go back to uninspired and resentful. But let's just try possibility.
Yeah.
And just see. Because Salona, you really can. You can put the possibility on, even if it's for 2 minutes, and you can see results that quickly.
So how would that look like when you say put the possibility on in the moment of posting or emailing?
Don't even take action. You don't need to take action. So everybody listen, 2 different advices. People who don't take action, you guys go take action. People who keep taking action, stop taking action. Not forever, right? This isn't like never again. Like when I say put it on, really what I mean is fill yourself. You have to fill your body with possibility and practice holding it. Do it from both directions. Fill your body with the feeling, practice holding it, practice finding thoughts that make it stay and like make it feel even stronger. That is your work, is feeling and holding possibility in your body as an action. This is the action of mindset. Because your body, your physical body is used to feeling the other feelings, and you're teaching it to hold this vibration. This is the rewiring. It's going to be hard because your brain's going to like distract you, go do something else, feel terrible. You're like, wait a minute. You're going to feel your brain do this thing where it like stretches and like crinkles and like it feels, it's not actually uncomfortable, but like this is the hard growth.
So when you say try it on, it would just be like borrowing those thoughts. Like it's possible I could sign a client this week. It's possible I could have a 100K business in a year. Of just find those statements that inspire me, that feel fun and uplifting.
You have to make sure you believe them, but yes, it's going to be what, and I wouldn't even keep it to your business. I would do everything in your life. Like it's possible that I make the best dinner I've ever made for myself tonight. It's possible that something happens in how I season it that I'm like, oh my gosh, this has never tasted so good. It's possible that you put together a combination of outfits and you're like, oh my gosh, I've had this thing in my closet and I've never thought to put these 2 things together. It's possible, right? Be with possibility as a whole, because in your life, you might have more trouble, but we're just practicing a feeling. And grab it from anywhere. Right? If you have a cat, it's possible my cat really likes me today and isn't mean. Like, that actually is possible. And it's like, it's possible that I find $1 on the street today. It's just possible. Right? And it's practicing believing those simple things to create and hold the feeling.
Okay.
Okay, so go do that and then let us know how it goes, okay?
Thank you so much. I will, yeah.
You are welcome. Okay, everybody, that is it for today. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Let's see, Francesca says, possibilities feel so good in my body. Right, so good.